The White Snoop and T-Rose Show, starring the White Snoop and T-Rose.
Tweet us during the show using the hashtag #SnoopRose Show.
The White Snoop and T-Rose Show.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the White Snoop and T-Rose Show. Of course, T-Rose over here, which makes me the White Snoop. So today, of course, we're going to be go back and discuss those conference finals, and we're going to talk a little bit, of course, about the NBA finals coming up. Let's talk about the East. I mean, most intelligent people knew the Miami Heat were going to come out of the East. I mean, I don't think there was a lot of people that thought that Miami was going to lose at any point. I don't care if it was, a month ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago. Most people had Miami coming out of the East, from the beginning of the season. Of course, the rough start to Brooklyn and, the Indiana collapse kind of helped solidify that throughout the year, but Indiana kind of did what we expected. Paul George had a good game. They won 2, but they weren't going to beat Miami. It's funny because they played all season for Game 7 at home, and then they
didn't even make it.
Couldn't even get.
They didn't get there.
No. There's a lot of disappointment on that team. Be definitely interesting to see what they do going forward. Of course, Lance Stevenson being a restricted free agent.
No, he's unrestricted.
He's unrestricted? I thought he was restricted and they just weren't going to match crazy offers.
No. Lance is unrestricted. Be interesting.
They're still not going to give him a crazy offer. Larry Bird's already said it. He's only going to bring him back for the right price. But they're interested in bringing him back. So the question is, what's Lance Stevenson's intentions? If you're Lance Stevenson, do you take the money?
Well,
because he's not going to get a lot of money in Indiana.
No, not at all.
They can offer him the most, but they're not going to. Larry Bird already stated they're not going over the luxury tax. I think they're only around $10 million underneath it for next year. And they're not going to give all that to Lance Stevenson. And I can see another team throwing 10, 12 million at him, because we've seen worse.
We've seen way worse. Yeah, I personally don't see him as a Indiana Pacer next year. I don't.
I think he's going to take the money. I think somebody's going to offer him a crazy contract and he's going to take it.
Well, he'd be dumb not to. No offense.
I don't think he's going to get much better.
No, I don't think so either. Even though there are people we know who think he's going to be like I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And not only is he not going to get better, but he might get a little better. He's not going to become great at any point in his career. And with those childish antics on top of it, it's...
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Lance, for some of the memorable moments from the playoffs.
And blowing in LeBron's ear.
And became an internet sensation.
A lot of people hated him touching LeBron's face, too.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, he got a lot of flack on that.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I love how he tried to call out LeBron's weaknesses, and then the next game, LeBron killed him.
Yeah, well, he's an idiot. He's a clown.
Yeah.
I forget who said it. Someone said it. He's like a J.R. Smith Meta World Peace combination. That's what he is.
His personality doesn't fit with what Indiana's looking for.
No, definitely not.
That's another interesting thing to think about. They like those blue collar hard workers that just want to play basketball. They seem to get rid of clowns. Ever since that, no, I'm serious. Ever since the Mouse in the Palace, Larry Bird is been against, oh, you're talented? Oh, that's nice. You're a clown. That's why he dumped all those guys. Meadow was gone. Steven Jackson was gone. And they've worked really hard. That's why a lot of people were shocked when they signed Andrew Bynum. Remember, a lot of people thought that was weird because his personality didn't fit.
Yeah. Well, that was swing for the fences, go for the grand slam on the first pitch. Basically what that was. That was the Hail Mary pass.
Yeah.
the full court hook shot. They were just
So do you think we put to bed that Paul George isn't a superstar yet? Because people were trying to give him the label last year in the playoffs, and it's like, well, this is like his come-out party. Like he hasn't really done anything yet. And then it was like, he got paid, so it was like, all right, well, let's see what he does this year. And yeah, he started off the season, really well, but he kind of dwindled, he didn't dwindle, like he's still a good basketball player, but
no, he's a good player.
He dwindled throughout the season, and in the playoffs, he had a couple of good games, but his overall performance was, okay.
Yeah, no,
he was pretty good,
It's the new trend in the NBA. Everybody's a superstar. They have one good game, one good playoff series. You're a superstar. It's just this trend in the
People
NBA.
use
They throw the label around like it's trash.
Too many people have short-term memory.
Yeah. So that's fine. Whatever. I mean,
But
they're everyone's gonna. But that happens all the time, though. I mean, this is Paul George is not the first time this has happened.
Same type of people, the ones that love Lance Stevenson.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a couple of good games here and there, and triple doubles.
Yeah.
Anybody gets a triple doubles, like a superstar
Gotta be a
nowadays.
superstar, all-star.
Yeah, one of the best players ever because he had a triple double. I'm just saying.
Going forward, Indiana.
Not about that logic.
Yeah. Indiana, they need they need some outside shooting. No shooting on that team. No one that can knock down a shot. No one that can spread the floor.
They have to upgrade that starting point guard position.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough though.
Yeah, because they're stuck with George Hill.
$8 billion.
Yeah.
Oof.
I don't know. Somebody brought up. I forgot who it was. He said, "Can you imagine, if they didn't make that trade and they drafted Kawhi Leonard, so they can have Leonard and Paul George on the floor together? Can you imagine them defending wings?"
Yeah. No, it's an interesting point. I mean,
I don't know who their point guard would have been.
Yeah.
But
they won't be paying him $8 million. Well, hopefully.
Unless they were good.
Yeah. I mean, better than George Hill. How
hard is that?
I know it's not. I don't know. And then there's the Roy Hibbert factor. I mean, I've heard rumblings. Maybe they look to deal him. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that.
Yeah. I can't see him bringing back something that's.
Oh, if they trade him, if they trade Hibbert, they're going to get destroyed in the trade because he is like guaranteed damaged goods. Like teams aren't going to be kicking down the door to get Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, but he's not guaranteed damaged goods. But right now he's coming off a bad year.
Right now he's right.
But he's not guaranteed for next year. Next year he could be better.
No, I know. But I'm talking.
And that's what I think it would.
But I'm talking his trade market. That's why they're not going to get. They're not going to get.
He came off
nothing near equal value.
He came off a bad postseason. Yeah. So people aren't. And can you imagine you're the Pacers and you trade and you get nothing in return, and then he starts dominating on another team. And unless Roy Hibbert's never going to be, a 25 and 12 guy or anything, but what if he goes somewhere else and he starts averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds, wins Defensive Player of the Year, 2-3 blocks or something crazy, and then it's like, why did you trade him?
And who do we get in that deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a tough scenario. I'm sure to see how they handle that. I don't know.
So I don't know. They definitely have some tweaking to do on that roster. That's why I've never been a fan of anybody playing with Frank Vogel. That roster has too many flaws in it to try to put it on the coach. Because I just couldn't see a way that he's supposed to figure out how to make all that work when he doesn't have enough.
Okay.
So moving on, we have the other conference finals, the Western Conference Finals. It was cool because it was kind of like what everybody kind of expected, and then it's like they announced, Spurs versus Thunder, and it's like, all right, we got the showdown in the West that we thought we were going to see, and everybody's interested, because they're both, really good teams, and you're kind of trying to figure out who's going to win, and then Serge Ibaka gets announced, out. That kind of swung the favoritism over to the Spurs. I mean, Serge Ibaka out. I don't think anybody was picking the Thunder to pick, to beat the Spurs without Serge Ibaka. they go down 0-2, and Serge Ibaka,
comes back,
and they rattle off 2 wins in a row. I mean, then now it's a series. Now it's 3 games left. Serge Ibaka's playing, and what he did for them was huge.
No, I know. Listen, I hear you.
He opens up the paint a little bit on offense. I mean, of course, his biggest impact is on the defensive end. He shores up the paint. Kind of help defense guy. Blocks shots, keeps the other team thinking.
Yeah,
and San Antonio figured it out. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Serge Ibaka was there from the start. But
yeah.
I'm not saying the Spurs would have definitely lost the series if Serge Ibaka played the whole time, but it would have been a greater possibility.
Yeah.
I think it was too late. You can't spot the Spurs 2 games.
The thing is, but the thing is, you know what it was? It's like you get it back to 2, so now you're looking at a best. You tie 2 series. Now you're looking at a best of 3. What I think killed the Thunder is they came out in Game 5 and they got blown out by they lose by 28.
Yeah.
I think that's what killed them.
I mean, Game 6 was finally a good game, though.
Yeah, finally, but I just you get blown out by 28. It's just I don't know. That's that's.
Well,
that's kind of the way the
first 5 games were all blowouts.
I know. No, I know.
I mean, they got blown out the first 2 games,
No.
and then Serge Ibaka came back and they blew them out twice.
And then they came out and got blown out the next night.
So I don't think that killed them. I mean, losing, a game is never a good thing, but I mean, they were still.
But I think they pumped themselves out to tie that series at 2. So by the time Game 5 rolled around, they were dead. Because remember, Pop didn't play any of his starters like the whole.
Yeah.
He didn't play any of those guys, and for whatever God's unknown reason, those Thunder guys in Game 4 played almost to the end of the game.
Well, because they couldn't go down 3-1.
Yeah, but that was a blowout. Game 4 was a blowout.
Yeah, but it wasn't. In both those games, I mean, yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. No, I know. Yeah,
they were still in striking distance.
So those guys finished the game.
And I think Scott Brooks
and it's
was
funny
too afraid of sitting.
And it's actually funny
too. They don't have bench players that are going to do anything. So what if they sat Durant and Westbrook and lost?
We'll talk about that later. So it's actually funny because I was actually watching that game with a buddy of mine who's a Spurs fan, and he was going crazy because I think they got it to like 12.
Yeah.
And he didn't put him back, and everyone thought
in Game 4 was the more.
And everybody thought
when they were close enough.
He was having a good game. They got it to 12, and everybody thought for sure
having a good game in the first half.
And everybody thought for sure that they were going to put those guys. That Pop was going to put those guys back in. He didn't, and
he wasn't worried about it.
No, I know, but it was just funny. So now here we are. We roll around to Game 5. I think the Thunder were exhausted, and the Spurs were fresh, but like I said, they got blown up by 28. Now the Thunder starters didn't play a majority of the fourth, but I still think those guys are gassed. And then Game 6 rolls around. I think the Spurs had like a 12-point lead. They were trying to, the Thunder never had a lead in that game.
The Thunder don't have a bench that they can rely on like the Spurs do.
No, really.
I'm just saying. I mean, but like the other thing that's we were talking about Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka didn't play in the first 2 games. Like if at the beginning of the series Serge Ibaka was playing, the Thunder could beat the Spurs 4 times out of 7. Now they're down 2 games. I mean, it's hard to say that the Thunder could beat the Spurs 4 times out of 5.
Yeah. Never mind 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, 4 out of 5. That's a win.
That's pretty.
You only lose once in 5 games against a team as good as the Spurs. You're not going to do that.
So, so the Spurs ended up closing out in 6, and now we look at the Thunder.
I mean, they had no bench production.
Yeah, none. I mean,
Barkley was killing them. Game 6, they had 5 points out of the bench, all from Derek Fisher.
I mean,
that can't happen.
Well, they don't. Well, look at their bench. I mean,
But even the other starters struggle to score.
No,
I think they rely way too much on Westbrook and Durant to do everything, especially on the offense. More on the offensive end.
Well,
it's like, these guys. They average a combined 60 points, but you need more than that to win an NBA game. I don't think there's been a team to win with 60 points ever. Yeah, I mean, so somebody else has to score. I mean, yeah, maybe you add Serge Ibaka, what is he, 12, 14, 15? So let's say 15, that's 75 points.
Yeah.
Okay, you're still not winning NBA games yet.
Yeah.
I mean...
Reggie Jackson chips in a little bit.
But you need these guys to be consistent. You know,
no, you're right. It's
Reggie Jackson, yeah, he has games where he drops 15. You know, I know he's not a huge scorer, but he'll have 15 points, which is nice. But then the next night he only has 2, you know. Bobo Cephalosha, he's not a consistent scorer. I mean, that's not his game.
He's never been, yeah.
But I'm just saying, he's the key to their defense, so he does play.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do anything else for you, though. Kendrick Perkins, I mean, what does he average? Maybe 3 or 4 points a game?
Yeah.
I mean, he consistently gets it, but I mean, that's not going to do anything. Like, you know, and it's usually off an offensive rebound or the defense forgot about you because they know you can't score. You know, like, those are where his 2 buckets are going to come from. And so that's why he gets like 4 points a game. It's just from, he'll probably get an offensive rebound at one time and then he gets left around the basket. You know, and it's just not enough. I mean, their bench, I mean, Jerry Lamb, you know, he's still young. I mean, that's what happens when you go. I mean, Perry Jones, we talked about, you know, privately yesterday. I mean, he doesn't even play. I mean, they had these guys. I mean, Najim Thabit, I mean, does he even play for them? I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. We had.
I mean, remember that guy told us he's a low post scorer. Remember?
Mark it down. Mark it down. Hashim Thabit mentioned on the White Snoop and T-Rose Show.
But he doesn't play. You know, Steven Adams, he's not really a scorer.
No, he's definitely not a scorer.
You know, so it's like where are they supposed to get this scoring from? I mean, they need a guy that they know. I mean, a shooter would be nice, like somebody that can help spread the floor too. I mean, a low post scorer would be nice too.
It'd be amazing for them.
Yeah, because they don't have any. Yeah. But if they had to get a shooter, they don't need just a plain shooter. They need somebody that can shoot and score.
Yeah, get a shot.
You know, because like a Marco Bellinelli type.
Take some pressure off of Durant and Westbrook.
Yeah. No, they don't even have to average a lot.
No.
15 points.
Yeah. No.
Just somebody gets it off the. You kind of want that punch off the bench.
Yeah.
That's somebody that could come off the bench and just give you 15 points. I mean, that's all Harden did when they were really good.
Yeah.
You know, he averaged, 15, 16, 17. Like, he was a little above Ibaka.
Yeah.
But he wasn't dropping the numbers he's dropping now.
No. So, so going forward...
They have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they have a lot of work to do. You know, Scott Brooks, or, you know, there's all these rumors now that he should be fired or whatever. So,
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Or whoever their coach is, there's a lot of work to do.
Like, we mentioned Frank Vogel. Anybody who thinks Frank Vogel is going to get fired, I completely disagree. I don't think Frank Vogel is going to get fired. Scott Brooks, I can see it. I'm not saying definite, but I wouldn't be surprised if I, you know, get an alert on my phone that says Scott Brooks has been fired. You know, Oklahoma City searching for a coach. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I also wouldn't be surprised if Scott Brooks is still there, you know, when they start training camp. I think that's definitely something to watch. It'd be interesting. 'Cause I don't think they've said anything either way. Not that I've seen, at least. So, of course, now we move on to the NBA Finals. The big games coming up. Of course, they start on Thursday with Game 1 in San Antonio. San Antonio has home court. So we have 4 games in San Antonio, 3 in Miami. Rematch of last year. 2.0. Heat Spurs. The rematch. You know the Spurs keep thinking about that Ray Allen 3 from Game 6.
I know.
I'm sure they think about it every day. They probably got a picture of it in the locker room as like a motivation. Because that was a huge, huge play last year. I mean, that was probably the easiest and biggest rebound Chris Bosh has ever gotten in his career. I mean, you don't say this a lot, but he was the biggest guy on the floor. You know, the ball just kind of came to him because nobody else could reach that high. Because it was like Chris Bosh and 9 wing players and guards. And Ray Allen was already retreating to the 3-point line. So he just caught it, stepped back, and
that was it.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
That was an awesome series, by the way.
Yeah, no, it was.
And so I'm personally looking forward to seeing, seeing it again. I'm never mad to see these guys duke it out. Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches, if not just this era, but of all time. I think Eric Spoelstra is underrated as a coach, as I've talked about before. Of course, LeBron James, the best in the game. It'll be interesting to see, how Dwayne Wade plays. Tony Parker, of course, is the only health issue that we're worried about on the Spurs side. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just, it didn't look that serious. He didn't play the end of the game. There's plenty of time to rest it off. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's an ankle.
Sometimes serious things that don't look serious end up being serious, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's an ankle. Their ankles are funny, so I'm sure they're doing everything they can with it. Like I said, the days off.
I don't think the question is if he plays, because I think he definitely plays.
Well, he's definitely going to play. It's just how
effective how many minutes?
Yeah, how many minutes, and is it gonna prevent him from being Tony Parker? Because we found last year he had the hamstring issue. Mm-hmm. When that flared up, the series kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah.
So if I'm not saying the Spurs can't win if he's not 110%,
but it'll definitely be harder.
But it'll definitely be harder because I like Patty Mills, I like that other kid that plays, but the two of them in the one.
It will be interesting to see kind of like what the other guys do. I mean, we know Tony Parker's got to do everything he can. Manu Ginobili's been playing really well. Hopefully keep that up for them. Tim Duncan's, he's Tim Duncan. But it'll be interesting, like Danny Green was going off at times, and so was Ray Allen last year.
It's funny, I forget
how many big threes are those two?
I know, but I forget who was making fun of him. They were saying Danny Green, he plays his best games at home, so since they have home court, maybe that'll help him out.
Yeah, you can have 4 good games.
Yeah.
Well, they go all 7.
If it goes
I think I can see it going 7 again.
I can too.
I don't think it goes less than 6.
No.
I'd be shocked if.
Even though I did hear someone. Even though I did hear someone on the radio today say Spurs in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that on the radio today. I was like, bold.
I don't think that the Heat could beat the Spurs in 5 games, even if Tony Parker doesn't play a minute. I don't think they could beat him in 5. I think the Heat would probably win the series without Tony Parker playing. But I'm saying...
No, I said Spurs in 5.
No, I'm just saying...
I'm just making sure you heard me correctly. But someone on the radio said Spurs in 5.
Yeah, I was ignoring that.
Oh, okay.
Because that's crazy. You really think LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade are going to not win 2 games?
Listen, I didn't say... They're
going to win at least 2 games.
Listen, I'm just saying what the basketball person on the radio said. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to start any trouble. But it was actually it was a basketball guy, ESPN basketball guy. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. So don't get all emotional on me.
No, I'm not getting emotional.
I'm just kidding.
But
just saying.
I'd be willing to bet that each team wins at least once on the other team's floor.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
I think that's. I could see like if the Spurs, the possibility of Spurs winning at 6. Like I don't think either team could beat the other one 3 times in a row. So if the Spurs, let's say they rattle off 2 at home, let's say they win, Game 4 in Miami. I think Miami would, Game 5, they would take in San Antonio. But then maybe they could win at home to push it to Game 7. It's going to be really interesting because they could both win on each other's floor. But, they both did last year. Game 1, remember, San Antonio won, even though it was in Miami. Yeah. And what was it, Game 4? Game 4 in San Antonio that the Miami won. So that was exactly what happened last year. Each one won on each other's floor. And I can definitely see that. I can see one of them stealing 2. Of course, Miami needs to. If San Antonio wins 1 in Miami, Miami has to win 2 in San Antonio. So, I'm excited. If I had to pick, it was funny because before I say my prediction, when I picked it, a fan of the opposite team goes, "You willing to wager that?" I said, "No." No, I'm not. I said, this series is too close. I wouldn't put $1 on a bet. And I highly suggest nobody does. Because both teams can win.
Yeah.
In 6 or 7 games, both teams can win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who you got? Let's hear it.
I'm taking the Spurs. I think the Spurs were this close to winning last year. And you know, not to like they should have won in a sense. I mean, of course, whoever should have won is who won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I know what you're saying.
Like they were right there.
Yeah, I understand.
I think Tim Duncan should have been in the game during that play when Chris Bosh got that rebound that he dished out to Ray Allen for that 3. I think that was a huge mistake on Pop's part. I think that's the only thing that Popovich has ever done in his career that I highly disagree with. But yeah, in that sense, they should have won. They were this close. This year, they have home court advantage. They have that taste in their mouth, and they're driven to win. I got the Spurs. But I'm not mad at anybody that picks the Heat, because I can totally see them winning. I mean, 4 straight finals appearances, which is a historic feat. They're only the 3rd team in NBA history to do it. I know they want that 3-peat. You know, every guy, you know, Shane Battier, you know, like we talked, you know, before the show, you know, Shane Battier is already announced that he's retiring after this series. You know he wants to go out on top. You know, Ray Allen would love to win, you know, another ring. You know, I mean, I think it goes without saying LeBron, Bosh, and Wade all want another ring. You know, like these guys want it. There's not a guy on that that's going to be taking the floor in this series that it's hard. It's almost hard to pick who you think wants it more, because these guys, everybody wants it, and I think that's what's going to make the series so awesome to watch. With coaching and the drive, can't wait for Thursday, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a good series.
I can't wait. No, I can't wait. Can't wait for Thursday.
All right.
No, like
with that being said, I think we got it. I think we got it.
I can't wait.
I think we got it.
Wait, what do you got? I can't wait.
Yeah, I think we got
Can't
it.
wait.
Can't wait till Thursday.
Can't wait.
That's when game 1 is, by the way. Just in case anybody missed that.
Can't wait for Thursday.
Me, oof. I mean, I've been going back and forth on this a lot.
I think everybody has.
Man, this is a tough
See,
one.
it was harder for me to say the Spurs because I thought, I didn't know about the Serge Ibaka injury back in September, but September, October, I kept saying it's going to be Heat over Thunder. And now that I always said that if the Spurs made it, I would pick them.
You remember a couple of shows ago, I said it was going to be Heat. I said it was going to be a repeat of last year's finals, and you talked me out of it.
That was before the Serge Ibaka injury.
Remember, I just. Well, remember that's what I was.
And you also didn't think the Thunder were going to beat the Clippers.
Yeah, I did.
Luckily, I changed your mind.
Yeah. But that was when I was. Remember, I hated Serge then. Remember, I was mad at Serge.
Yeah, but you were mad at Blake more.
That is true.
That's why you eventually chose the right team.
That is true.
Although let's also clarify, that was before the semifinals.
Yeah.
When the conference finals started, we both did pick.
Yeah.
We did both pick the Spurs because we both knew Serge at that point was not playing. Well, we thought he wasn't playing at all.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Miami.
Are you gonna change this before Thursday?
No. I'm gonna go with Miami. I'm gonna stick with it, but the Spurs it worries me. And this is something that not too many people said. I think the Spurs were better this year than they were last year.
I absolutely 100% agree.
And the Heat barely won. So it's
I actually think you could.
And you can probably argue that the Heat aren't as good.
You think about it, Mike Miller. Like, as much as we make fun of him for having, 74 injured body parts.
Edward Scissorhands.
But, he came up huge for them. A lot. In different games, in different series the past 2 years. 3.
Yeah.
He was,
I'm trying, did he do anything last year in the finals?
Yeah. Last year was when he had that game with one shoe, remember that? Was that in the finals or was that the conference finals?
I think it was a conference. Because I know he went crazy in the finals against the Thunder.
Well, that was his.
Yeah. And then
That was probably his best
and then
play.
last year, Battier. And then last year it was Battier. So
Yeah, Mike Miller still had his time.
yeah, no, I know, but Battier was the one last year. Remember I said it. We were talking about this the other day. I said they're out that series. I'm like, man, Battier, man, he's open all the time. It's just not going in. I was like, it's just. Then they started going in. I was like, oh, yeah. So that's my pick. I'm gonna say Miami. I'm gonna go.
You want to know who I think one of the biggest pickups for San Antonio that really makes him better? That doesn't really get talked about a lot? It's Marco Bellinelli. I love that signing from the second it was made. I've always liked that signing.
Yeah. No, yeah, we talked about that earlier.
He's kind of like a...
So, yeah, it's...
He plays almost exactly like Manu Ginobili. He's not quite as good as Manu Ginobili was, but they play like a similar style. Like they're both good shooters, but they can also go off the dribble. They can defend, but they're not great. Like they're almost like the kind of the same player. And I think it's almost like a good security, because remember, Manu had injury issues that
Yeah, so...
I always like the security of it.
It's fine. Listen, we talked about that early, so yeah, so with all that being said,
You're switching to the Spurs?
no,
No, I'm just kidding.
it's funny. No,
And the one compliment for both these teams is the role players is when they get their number called. Like remember what game was it? James Jones. He played in like 2 games, but both times he came out and he played.
they're ready. They're always ready to go. What was it? Was it Game 6? Boris Diaw scored like 28 points.
Yeah. Well, he always has regular playing time.
No, I know, but
we're talking about guys like James Jones.
No, I know, but I'm talking, yeah, I know.
Corey Joseph, he didn't really play until the conference finals.
He's ready to go. Yeah,
and it was like, hey, Corey, we need you.
Yeah.
And it's like, no problem, Pop.
They're all ready to go.
And that's coaching.
Yeah, definitely. So just can't wait till
Sticking with
Thursday. Yeah.
You can't wait till Thursday too?
Yeah, no.
Me too.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Thursday.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna stick.
It's only Monday. We got 3 more days to go.
I know. So, but I'm gonna stick with my pick. But like I say, like you said, it wouldn't surprise me. Like
so you're not putting money on it?
No.
Yeah, me
No
neither.
way. No way.
Me neither. I wouldn't bet anybody.
No way. And yeah.
I'm just gonna wear black so nobody knows what team I'm rooting for.
There you go. But it's one of those things, like like you
Black
said,
and white, like they both wear.
Yeah, like you said, you picked, you picked the Spurs, but you wouldn't be surprised if Miami won.
I'm picking the Spurs in 7. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami won in 6.
Yeah, and I'm kind of vice versa. But that Spurs and pick that 5. Spurs in 5 was crazy on the radio today.
Yeah. Anybody in 5.
When the show goes off, we'll have to talk about who said that.
Anybody, if you're picking either team at 5, man.
Well, he said Spurs.
I know, but I'm saying either way.
Because he doesn't think, the person just doesn't think the Heat are that good compared to San Antonio.
The only thing is
part of his logic. Well, I'll tell you, his logic was he doesn't, because he thinks that no matter what LeBron, Bosh, and Wade do, like, it's not going to be able to combat the 9-guy rotation that San Antonio has.
I get you.
And he just thinks
I think San Antonio's others are better than Miami.
And that's why he said in 5. Because he doesn't think that, like, LeBron can score, and he said it, he said LeBron can score 30 every game. You can get 25 from Wade. Hell, you could even get 20 from Bosh. But he just thinks that, like the Heat have 6 guys that can score. And San Antonio has like 9. And he thinks that's why he picked.
See, the reason why I'm going with the Spurs is I agree with everything you said before, that you think San Antonio is better this year than last year. And Miami, I'm not saying they're a lot worse.
They're not worse. They just didn't get better. To me, it's
I think they were better last year. I just don't like using the word worse because it's not like a huge difference.
Yeah. No, I know.
But Mike Miller, and I don't want anybody to overrate the guy. Like, he's not changing the landscape, anything. But he was important to them for like what he did. So losing him, it does affect them.
The thing about Miami, it's like, and I know I killed him on this show.
And said too, Miami did edge that series.
Yeah.
The
thing about Miami is just disappointing. Like, and I know I've killed him on the show, and I feel bad, but like, they've gotten nothing out of Michael Beasley. Nothing.
Greg Oden stopped playing.
Well, yeah.
I didn't even hear like a report that he got hurt again.
Do we expect him to play though?
I'm just.
Do we expect?
But he was playing. And it's like he stopped playing.
But do we expect any like?
I get what you're saying.
I thought Beasley would be able to contribute.
Yeah.
Because you talk about a guy. Because we were just talking about how like the Spurs have more guys that can score. All Michael Beasley's done in the NBA, well, besides smoke pot, is score. Like he's a scorer.
He might actually have scored more than he smoked pot. I don't know. It's hard. It's close.
That's a jump ball. But it's
well, now that he's been in Miami, he's probably because he hasn't really scored as much. So maybe the pot took the lead.
No, but it's just but it's unfortunate because in a series like this, coming off the bench, if they can get anything out of him, it would help. Like he'd be huge.
Can you imagine if Michael Beasley broke out in the NBA Finals?
It would be. It would be funny. I'm just saying because like he would be.
I agree with you.
Because he's there are times like you like I mean obviously he played he's playing in Phoenix. They were kind of a scrub team. He's playing in Minnesota. They were kind of a scrub team. But there are times like this guy will go off and score like 30 points, and it's. Now, obviously, he's not.
I don't care how scrubby your team is. Just score 30. You're gonna be talented.
And but they're but it was like he can shoot it. He can create a shot. It's not like it's all like layups and dunks. Yeah. I mean, this guy. So like to see him there and like when he's on the court, him just look like he has no idea what he's doing. It just drives me crazy. I mean, I love the dude. I loved his game in college. I thought that even though Derrick Rose went number 1, I thought Beasley would have easily been the best guy of that draft class. Obviously, I was dead fucking wrong, and I will admit that. But like, it's just how he can't contribute anything. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, like I said, I mean, you remember we had the conversation over last year. It's like he's like a poor man's Melo. Like that's what he seemed like to me, and it's just driving me like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's likely, but no, you're right. Maybe they throw him out there, and maybe he does say, "Hey, you know what?" I mean, maybe because, he's 6'8". It's just I don't know. I mean, but like I would feel more comfortable.
I felt like when they signed him too, that he fit the Miami mold so well.
Oh, I would. You remember how excited I was. I mean, find the episode. I was like, "Oh my, this is huge," because he can. He's another scoring punch that they need. So I mean, because you look at the Heat as constructed right now.
Yeah, but at 6'8", and he can play both.
He can play both. Yeah, I know.
That's exactly kind of like that.
I mean, but you remember when they signed him, I envisioned them closing games with him on the court, just because when he's on, he can shoot, he can spread the floor a little. LeBron loves the drive and kick. So imagine you have Bosh on one side, you have him somewhere else. It's like, you wouldn't be able to. I mean, obviously. You throw Ray Allen out there and stuff like that, but but you can throw the ball to Beasley, and he can pump fake you, put the ball in the court, and get an even better shot. I'm not saying Ray Allen can't do that, but let's face it, I like Ray Allen just catching and shooting at this stage of his career. There are a couple of times against Indiana, like he was taking the ball to the rim, and I was like, whoa.
Dude is 38 years old.
I know, yeah, but I'm like, he thought he was
might be joining Batty.
He thought he was in his Milwaukee Buck days for a minute, but it's just, I just envisioned like you said, like you say, he fit what they were looking for, and just the possibilities with him, LeBron, and Wade can make a pass too when he needs to, and your boy Bosh can pass the ball too. It's just the possibilities. It just hasn't happened yet. So maybe in the finals, maybe he has like the Mike Miller moment, and he has like the couple games where it's like we almost forgot this guy can play, and I don't even know what to say about Greg Oden. You talk about swinging for the fences.
I mean, they didn't pay anything really for him.
Yeah, no, I know, that's what I mean. So,
I'm just saying, it was just weird because it wasn't like.
But I would feel much.
He got stretched off like he's done in the past. It was just.
Before the record, I would feel much more comfortable picking the Heat if Michael Beasley was playing the way I know he could.
One other thing too that's interesting that you brought up, that you brought that reminded me of this is, and I've heard other people say it too, is. It seems like San Antonio is they're rolling right now.
Yeah.
Every engine is going.
Yeah,
every cylinder.
They're definitely.
And it just seemed like, and the Bobcats aren't a bad team.
No.
And obviously Brooklyn's a pretty good team too. You know, and Indiana, even with the collapse, are still a good team. But it was like, and I told this to a Heat fan. I told a Heat fan, I said, Miami hasn't done anything but beat teams they should have beaten.
Yeah.
Like, they were the clear favorites in every round.
Yeah.
Like, I know people like, well, I think the Bobcats, everybody had them.
Yeah.
You know, but I know there's crazy people that thought Brooklyn the 4. I'm just saying there were crazy people out there. You know, that thought the 4-0 regular season sweep was going to translate, even though we tried to explain it to them, and other people tried to explain it to them that regular season success does not always translate to the playoffs.
Might have to walk off this set. It's fucking crazy.
I'm not.
Where's the exit? Is it over there? Where's the exit?
Exit stage left. But
I'm leaving the building.
you know, and then of course, you know, there was a couple crazy people that thought Indiana was going to remember how to play again, you know, for the conference finals.
I don't think they were. I think they were hoping. I think a lot of those Pacer fans were just hoping. Like,
well, not even just Pacer fans. There's also a lot of people that just hate LeBron.
Like, hey Roy, you averaged 22 and 10 against this same team last year. Can you?
Yeah.
10 rebounds, Roy. 10 rebounds. You know those things when you jump up and you grab the ball because you're 7'2"? Yeah, those things.
But basically, the Heat.
Sorry, I did.
The Heat just beat teams they should have beat.
Yeah, no,
that's all they've done so far. But then you look at San Antonio. I mean, Dallas brought them to the brink in the first round.
Which people.
Yeah. I don't think people expected a Game 7. We called 6.
Yeah.
And Dallas looked a lot better than everybody kind of expected. You know, and I've already apologized to Monte Ellis because I never thought that he could play team basketball. Yeah. And I know it's only one season, so I'm not trying to say, oh, he's figured it out. But if he continues to play like this, Monte Ellis is going to be an awesome player. Yeah. I mean, he's always been talented, but you know, but then they go to the next round. You know, Portland they dismissed way easier than I thought.
So that was their
easy round. And then they go to Oklahoma City, you know, which, you know, of course, early in the season and playoffs, people thought Oklahoma City was the favorites. You know, then of course they didn't have Serge Ibaka for 2 games, but Serge Ibaka came back and made it a series. Like and they had to play.
Yeah. And then they did what they had to do. You know, I look at, you know, it's like. No, but
they're playing at a different level, I think. That's what I'm saying. San Antonio's playing at this level. Miami's still kind of coasting from the regular season. And so
I don't know if I say they're coasting.
To an extent.
I'd say, I mean, you look at Miami, they're obviously, this is, like, D. Wade's health, because everyone's like, oh, he's healthy. Mm. They've been kind of cruising. Well, this is what, like, because there are a lot of people, you know, because I know a lot of the hate, you know, the haters and the naysayers and all these clowns that think they know what they're talking about. They always tell us, oh, you know, D. Wade sat out 30 games. You know, they're saving. Well, you know what? This is when we'll find out if it was how healthy and if the cruise control helped. Me personally, I think the easy road is I mean, I don't know. We all know LeBron. He's gonna ball when he's gonna be able to turn it up when he needs to. What does D Wade have left in the tank? This is where. But I understand what you're saying. But I actually think the fact that
Miami as a whole has to turn it up another. If they play against the Spurs at the same level that they played the Bobcats, the Nets, or the Pacers, they won't win.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even. If they were going to play like that, and I don't think they are, which is why I've said what I said, but if they play like they did in those series, any one of those series, then yeah, you can put money on the Spurs. Because the Spurs are playing at a way different level than that. And I do think they'll turn it up. But it's, yeah, the Spurs, I mean, think about it. Would you rather get hit by a car that's already driving 50 miles an hour, or that has to speed up to 50 miles an hour?
No, listen, I agree with what you're saying. So we'll see. Like I said, it'll be a good series. And
I can't wait till Thursday. Did I say that yet?
Yeah, start that trending right now. Can't wait till Thursday. I got that.
Hashtag?
Yeah, hashtag.
Hashtag can't wait till Thursday. I didn't. I forgot if I mentioned it earlier. I just want to make sure that people knew.
So moving on.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of other.
Well, I guess we can throw some shout-outs. Congratulations on Derek Fisher. Played his last game.
No, is that official? I don't remember seeing anything official. I know we all kind of think it. I mean, he's got 49, 59, one of those. Something he now.
Well, he's already being talked about for coaching jobs. So I hope I hope it's official.
A lot of people do believe that Derek Fisher is going to be soon announcing his retirement. So we'll send our congratulations to a good career.
Yeah.
We'll always remember you.
To the little guy that was drafted out of Arkansas.
Yeah. 5 rings.
Made some big shots. Made a lot of big shots.
Well, I was going to say his most famous moment was probably the 0.4 seconds.
Yeah. He made some other big shots.
Remember the one in Utah where you like ran
yes.
when you ran to the back?
Yeah. So yeah.
Good career.
And I guess we can do it now for Shane Battier, because whether they win, lose,
yeah,
he's already announced that this is gonna be it for him. And today, it's actually funny on the way here, he's going to be working for ESPN as a college analyst. So good for him.
The old Duke Blue Devil.
Yeah, they love those Duke guys, man. He's going to be there. Jason Williams, remember Jay Will?
Yeah.
People forget about that guy. Tragic story. We'll have to talk about some other time. So shout out to him. Congratulations.
There's a couple other names on the retired rumored list that are going to be playing in this series.
Yeah.
Of course, for the Miami, they have one other rumored. A lot of people think there's a possibility Ray Allen could hang it up.
Yeah.
And then on the Spurs side, a lot of people think Ginobili's a possibility. I've also heard Tim Duncan. A lot of people think he could. And a lot of people say that the day Duncan retires, Pop will as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. So it could be the end of a lot of eras after the final.
Yeah.
So
and those are some
big names.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Think about it, Derek Fisher, Shane Battier, and this is no knock on Shane Battier. He might be the worst of the players we just named that are retiring. Which isn't a knock on him. It's
we're talking.
It's a compliment to the other guys.
Yeah,
I'm a big Shane Battier fan.
One of the greatest coaches ever, greatest power forward ever.
One of the greatest shooters ever.
Ginobili, and
one of the best 6 men to ever play the game. Yeah. I've always been a huge Battier fan, though.
Nice.
It's hard not to like it, the way, because he always plays hard.
Yeah, that's that Duke Blue Devil.
You play hard.
That's that Duke Blue Devil, man. All those guys.
Both teams played hard.
God bless again. Oh man.
Both teams going to be playing hard on Thursday, though.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else?
Oh yeah. I think speaking of end of an era, or I guess you could call it that, end of a shitty era, the Sterlings have officially sold the Clippers.
Oh, thank God. I'm going to talk about this nonsense anymore.
So you can finally get rid of that guy. See, the only sad part, and this is only really for us, and is now we have to find somebody new to win the High Five Award. With Donald Sterling not around to win it.
Well, let's see what Dan Gilbert does with the #1 overall pick. Because I have a feeling.
Yeah, I guess we still have Dan Gilbert and James Dolan to do dumb things.
Yes, definitely James Dolan.
But Donald Sterling, you won't be missed. I only wanted to say because it's usually the opposite.
I know.
It's you will be missed. He won't be though. I don't think anybody's going to miss Donald Sterling.
So,
I will say though, because we've had previous discussions of the whole Donald Sterling thing. I am glad that they just sold it on their own.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to go through a huge mess.
Yeah.
I know there's
because he was going to sue the league.
Yeah. I know there's some other. I hope it all just dies down and goes away. I think that's best for everybody involved. Yeah. I don't need to have dirty laundry in a courthouse wasting tons of money and time.
I agree. So what? Next time you'll see us is draft time?
We should
draft time?
We should start referring him as the owner, which won't be named. The former owner, who will remain nameless.
Right? So, draft time, right?
So that'll be our new thing. So from now on, we'll refer to him as that, and then only our real fans have been watching will know. The former owner, whom will remain nameless.
Wow. Good.
So we don't have to say his name anymore.
So our next show, what?
We got one more before the draft.
Yeah, well, after.
we gotta talk about the finals when it's over.
All right.
We're gonna be congratulating either the Spurs or the Heat on the championship, either a three-peat or the 5th championship for Tim Duncan. And then it'll be draft.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a pre-draft and then a post-draft show. Hopefully we'll have some special guests.
Yeah.
I talked to one, I don't know if you talked to the other. So, did you?
No, I'll get them.
So we have two possible guests. One of them at least already knows.
Yeah.
The other one could be watching the show going, oh, I wonder if they're going to get. And it's you.
Yeah.
Does he watch? I don't know. I know I said it to him. I don't know if he watched it.
So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. There's some good players in the draft. It's gonna be good.
They're both big draft guys, like you are. I know. This is a draft junkie over here.
Hey.
He needs his fix. He can't wait for the end of June. Every year.
He's just making fun of me because I was watching the draft combine.
The other guys were too, though.
Yeah, I like to, yeah. So, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else, right?
No.
You know, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I don't know if we have any wrestling fans that watch our show, but I have to do this. If anybody did not,
Special shout
if
out.
anyone did not watch the Payback last night, I didn't see it, but the pictures apparently it was all over the internet. My man Batista, dog. Blue is not your color. Blue Tista. That's all I can say. Just search. Just look it up. I mean, can we get that on the screen? Can we? Put that?
Mark Jackson would not like that outfit.
Oh man.
Is that too soon?
That's way too soon. That's way too soon. Yeah, so I had to do that, and I would shout out to my boy Lance Stevenson again for making a spectacle out of the NBA playoffs with all your antics in the 6 games in the Heat series.
So I'm surprised that when he went to Miami, he didn't borrow Jarrett Smith's truck.
I am going to clown you forever for some of the shit that you were doing. That's all I have to say. You want me to lay down on the floor in front of you?
Yeah. We'll both take a nap.
My God.
That's Lance Stevenson for you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, thank you for that.
I bet you J.R. Smith was driving around South Beach in the truck.
Laughing. So I'm not the only fool.
Yeah.
Imagine those two on the same team. Yeah. Him untying shoes.
One will be blowing on you, and the other one untying your shoes. You just on the foul line. The great.
Oh man, it was funny. They had Antonio Davis. Now, he used to play for this, but he was on Mike and Mike in the morning. They were asking about all that stuff, and Antonio Davis said he goes what they asked him, like, because he was a tough guy. He was a little. Yeah. And they asked him, what would your reaction be? He goes, he never would have been able to get away with any of that stuff back when I played. He goes, like the trying to get in the Heat tunnel thing. He goes, he said a brawl would have started on the court just off that. He goes, he goes. A lot
of people who were talking about how many players probably would have punched him after he touched their face.
Yeah, well, that too. But yeah, that's all that stupid stuff he was doing. It was, like I said, it makes the game look bad. Here we are in the Eastern Conference Finals. You have the two top teams from the East, and we're focused on this asshole who's blowing in the best player in the game's ear. It's just, it's like, you're Lance Stevenson.
I want to do that in a pickup game now.
So if I see you one night and you have like a black eye, I'll know what happened. you blew when someone's there, didn't you? Because I just can't imagine like your average Joe takes.
Because I can say like to anybody that's ever played with me, they can tell you, like, I talk a little trash and I will mess with people. Yeah. It had never crossed my mind to go, I'm blowing this motherfucker's ear. And I don't touch their face either. I usually touch their hands.
Like I told you,
people hate that.
Yeah, but it was like, what didn't Meta World Peace pull down Paul Pierce's shorts in a game? It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like
I'll touch their hands, or I just try to stand like on top of them almost, like I'll like bump against them for no reason, like in the balls. Not like shoulder block or anything, but rub against them just because, like I never thought to untie somebody's shoe. I never thought to blow in somebody's ear. I never thought to pants them.
It's just,
I talk shit.
Like I said, it's just, listen, this is the NBA. He's supposed to be showcasing these guys, and he's just making a fucking circus of it. It's very frustrating to watch.
Yes, it is.
Very frustrating. It's like we Eastern Conference Finals. It wasn't that the game Paul George scored like 37, and that's all they talked about the next day. It's like Paul George had 30. Paul George scored 21 points in the fourth. He had 37 points for the game, but Lance Stevenson blew in LeBron's ear, and that's all they talked about. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like I said, it's just
to me, Paul George's great game into a side note.
It was a side note, and then like on the internet,
Larry Bird had to come out and tell him to stop.
Yeah, it's just and then on the internet, that's all they they had the video was everywhere. How about the three that Paul George made that pretty much iced the game? We didn't see that. No. If you didn't watch the game, you didn't see that, but you saw this asshole blowing in LeBron's ear. So, you know what, Lance? You're a good player. You have a lot of talent. I understand you're young, but grow up, dude. Seriously. Like I said, JR, and that's actually like the perfect, like, I forget who said it. It's a combination of J.R. Smith and Metta World Peace, and when you think about it, you're like, man, that's. But then when you watch the antics, it's kind of dead on because J.R. Smith, when he's on, he can ball a little bit when he wants to, but especially this past year, we remember J.R. Smith for all his off the court and all his bullshit antics over
the truck, the shoes. What was the other thing he did? He did something else that was funny.
Going out to clubs and taking pictures and all this other shit.
Doing drugs.
Yeah, so.
I'm trying to remember what the other one was. He did something else that was funny on the court that I would have never thought to do. Can't remember it though.
I still think the funniest J.R. Smith thing ever. This is when I knew he was going to be special. And you remember this because I put the video everywhere when he was in Denver. And Tyreek Evans shot the air ball at the bottom of the net. He caught the rebound and went out of bounds because he thought it went in. Oh. That's what I knew. That's what I knew he was going to be special. Yeah. Can we put the link to that video on the show so everybody can see it? Can we get that out here? We'll find the link. I'm sure we can find this though, because to me that's when I knew that guy. I was like, this motherfucker is going to be special. And I remember, like if Shaq and the Fool was around back then, that shit would have been #1 for the whole season. Like but it would have been hard to top that.
Yeah,
that would have had to be number. Like that would.
JaVale McGee wouldn't even be able to top that.
Yeah, no. he could have ran back on defense when they had the ball 10 times and it wouldn't have topped that, because that was hilarious. But all right, we'll stop talking about these clowns now. So, good luck to both teams in the finals, and we'll
Thursday
and hashtag and we'll see you guys after the finals.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, what are we saying? Like, what are the finals? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in about 2 weeks to talk about the finals, unless we decide to do a random show in the middle.
It could happen.
I just thought of that.
It could happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
We could be back earlier.
We'll see. We'll see what's going on after Game 4. Maybe we'll do something after Game 4. Maybe. No guarantees. Though.
Maybe if it's interesting. Maybe if Lance Stevenson shows up and blows in somebody's ear, we'll have to do a show.
Wow. All right.
And of course, we got the draft coming up. Yeah. This guy's favorite day of the year.
All right. So.
Well, second. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a good day.
Yeah. All right. Christmas too, because there's basketball and all day.
Oh yeah, it is. That is a good day for basketball. It's too bad we have to be with our families, so we can't do like a Christmas show. Yeah, screw the families. Let's do a Christmas show.
I'm sure if we did, we have to do it early though.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We have a ways.
Let's see, December. Yeah, we got like 6.5 months.
So we're out, right?
Yeah.
Signing out.
Signing out for another episode.
Shout out to the person who will not be named on the show who said Spurs and 5. We gotta end it on that.
Oh god. Can't wait till Thursday. See you guys in 2 weeks. Or so, maybe early.
This is the White Snoop presented by the White Snoop T-Rose Show.
videos like old episodes on YouTube, and subscribe to youtube.com/WhiteSnoop44. Follow and tweet us at 44entertainment, at WhiteSnoop44, at T-Rose_28. Use the hashtag Snoop Show. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WhiteSnoop244, facebook.com/TheWhiteSnoop44. Email us at WhiteSnoopProductions@gmail.com.